Welcome to Tech Ties and Human Vibes, where we explore the tech that powers modern businesses and drives innovation. I'm Adam, and with me is Nancy. We'll be talking to entrepreneurs, innovators, and industry experts about the tools they use, the challenges they face, and how technology is shaping the future of work. Let's dive in.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Tech Ties and Human Vibes. I am Nancy Henriquez with Adam Nelson.
Hey,
Adam, I gotta say, I loved how you said my name the last episode. The
did you like that?
Henriquez. I did. Anyway, before we get into that, I am so excited to welcome our guest, Aaron Morris of Tech Support Austin is here with us today. Hey, Aaron, how are you?
I'm doing great, Nancy. Thanks for asking.
Well, so excited to have you on this show. And for our audience out there, could you share a little bit of your history, how you got into the tech space, and in particular, something that I thought was very interesting about your business, the business acquisition space?
Absolutely. So, Tech Support Austin is a company I started about 10 years ago now, and the business started in the restaurant and retail space. I started helping restaurants with implementing point of sale systems and doing Wi-Fi and low voltage work. Kind of when that whole POS system thing was making a big push into that industry, I had a friend of a friend asked me to help out with a place that had connection issues, and one thing led to another, and I started the business as a result of that. My background, actually, my father had a software company when I was a young person, and I started kind of hacking away and helping with doing database stuff on really old beige computers, and that led to becoming a software engineer during the beginning of the .com era. So I worked in all the fly-by-night .coms of the early 2000s here in Austin, and spent a good bit of time writing code for those companies, and realized that that line of work was not best suited to me. I kind of felt more of a push to be around people and not so much in cubicles writing code for 50, 60 hours a week. And so I kind of branched out and found that that IT was really a good place for me, where I could kind of incorporate the human element and my understanding of technology, and that's been a real powerful thing for me. In 2024, I stumbled onto the book Buy Then Build, and it really got me interested in expanding my business via acquisition. And so
can I stop you right there, Aaron, real quick? What was the name of that book?
It's called Buy Then Build.
Buy Then Build. Okay.
Buy Then Build, and it's a very popular thing right now. And the term they like to use is ETA, Entrepreneurship Through Acquisition. And that's all about buying a pre-existing business and buying the revenue attached to a pre-existing business versus starting from scratch, which I'm sure most people listening can identify to how difficult it is to start a business from scratch. So I caught that bug and spent 2024 learning about other MSPs and what is available out there to purchase, right? And during that process, I just found a wonderful world of mergers and acquisitions for small business, and a great community around that. And that level of understanding of how that world works kind of brought some clients my way. And so now I'm offering a service specifically for those people of helping parties that are interested in buying a small business understand the IT situation, due diligence in regards to technology stacks for existing businesses, and really just applying my knowledge and experience in small business tech to people who would like to buy a business and understand kind of what they're buying from a technology perspective.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but you will help no matter who it is, right? Say I'm a business owner. I own a coffee shop. and I'm looking to get into the tech world, looking to get into the MSP world, you would help me understand that world and help me find that business to buy.
Um, there's a pretty strong ecosystem right now for every phase almost of your journey in acquiring another business. So maybe something that you're referring to is more a business broker, right? A buy side business broker who can kind of help you find businesses. And then once you do find a business that you'd like to buy, be that a MSP or a laundromat or a restaurant, you have several professionals that you're going to want to engage, like a lawyer, like an attorney that can help you with contractually buying, right? And then everybody knows about an accountant to do quality of earnings. You're gonna sign an NDA, you're gonna get financials, and you're going to use an accountant and other professionals in that space to look at these line items and make sure. They said they made $1 million last year. Did they? Where did it go? How much did they pay in taxes? And one of those line items is going to be IT. And you're going to see how much they spent on computers, how much they spent at their existing MSP, how much they spent on Microsoft licensing. When you're looking at those numbers, there for people that are buying companies that are on the smaller side, there really isn't a big infrastructure right now for who can analyze those cloud costs, who can analyze how old those computers are, and if you're going to be looking at a huge liability when you buy that laundromat, that all their POS systems are not going to be able to be upgraded to Windows 11, for instance. So that is the specific service that I'm helping small business acquisition people with, and that's doing a quality of tech analysis similar to what an accountant would do.
Yeah, I think that's something that is incredibly needed in this space. The more that we businesses use technology to operate, the more that that's going to be needed, right? And not just on a financial sense, but in an operational setting. As especially as someone that is considering to buy into a business, it gives you key insights as to how are they operating? Are there any other liabilities within the how they're utilizing the technology, right? And whether they are actually compliant, if they have to be compliant, let's say, or if there's any internal security problems that may exist. There's a lot more that goes into how you should build a business or the infrastructure, your IT infrastructure within your business. So to have somebody, a third party, right, from the outside in, be able to say, these are some of the things that you're going to have to look at or be prepared to deal with once you take over this business, is completely different than going in blind and all of a sudden you thought you had a good business, but like you said, now you have all these risks and liabilities and possibly expenses that you weren't aware that you would have going into that business.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you pretty much nailed it. I mean, what is happening a lot, or what I'm seeing now that I'm kind of getting active in this space, is that the accountants will sign off and say, "This is great, right? IT spend less than 5% 3 years in a row. Excellent." I'll take a look at it and say, "Well, yes, that's great from a numbers standpoint, but every single one of your laptops for every single one of your employees has not been replaced in over 5 years." So when you sign that agreement to purchase that company, guess who gets to replace those laptops? You do,
Yeah.
and that can be very costly, as you know. Um, so yeah, and the other thing that has really kind of fit with my expertise and where I'm at is just having multiple decades of experience with small business technology. And how that works in the acquisition space for small business is we have something like, I forget the exact number, but it's millions of small businesses in our country that are owned by baby boomers and other retiring age people who are just aging out of their business. And if they don't have a family member to hand the business down to, or somebody maybe that's been in the business a long time that they would like to acquire the company, they're putting it for sale with brokers. And what you'll see with that particular category is, and you even see this in the MSP space, as somebody who's trying to acquire MSP, there is a technology stack where this particular person became familiar, knowledgeable, and comfortable. And whatever decade that was, that's where that tech stack lives. And so you know this very
Oh yeah.
well.
Oh yeah.
That company is in that era, right? 1998 to 2001, that's their tech stack.
Yep.
So, as you know, when you're coming in and you're like, great, I use ChatGPT, I use Slack, I use Max, and you want to buy that company, you certainly want to kind of know where you're at and what the migration path is to integrate that into your, the rest of your holdings or into just your life, right? And how you kind of want to
Yeah.
own this and run this business.
So
Yeah.
what are some red flags that you could that you might know off the top of your head? Like if you were doing a due diligence on a business for a company to buy, what are some red flags that you might say, hey, hold up, this is going to cost too much money, or you don't want to jump into this?
Sure. So I kind of alluded to the biggest one, and that's the one that I've seen the most frequent, and that is in preparation to sell the business. Businesses, entrepreneurs, and it's perfectly natural to just try to make your books look as good as possible. And so that means spend less, spend less, spend less. And we all know what happens when you try to cut corners with technology. You're just kind of delaying. You're delaying your pain a little bit, right? So absolutely the biggest one is the aging hardware. So if you've got 20 employees and you haven't upgraded any of their devices, that's what you're gonna look at. So it's non SSD hard drives and out of warranty equipment. That's kind of the biggest one. I would say the second biggest one, and a lot of people are surprised. I guess a lot of your audience, I'm sure, that it's cloud infrastructure is still not as mainstream as you think it would be. So there's a lot of on-prem. I mean, we're doing one now. We did one 2 weeks ago. We are still migrating people off of QuickBooks Desktop. And in the acquisition space, you have people in New York buying businesses in California. And when they figure out that the accounting books are on one of those beige computers sitting in an office, which only half the employees are even in the same city, it can be eye-opening, right? As far as, okay, well, what do we do about that, right? How do we migrate this 20-year-old QuickBooks Desktop over to QuickBooks Online? Is that a 1-day thing? Is that a 2-day thing? Like, how does my accountant get that? So those are the some of the main ones that I've seen so far in doing this specific type of work. One of the other ones that is kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum is uncontrolled cloud cost, right? So um, I'm sure we're all familiar with how these subscriptions can just start adding up, right? And um, I see a lot of over licensing. So just too many people within the organization with too heavy of a licensing load for what they actually do. So those are some of the more common ones I'm seeing.
Yeah, that's interesting. And it's funny because as I've been through an acquisition twice, and so I can tell you from going through that process myself as an MSP and going to another MSP, even within our own industry, how something like this would be so needed.
So yes, I have seen a lot of different variations and standards and nomenclature, and as far as like what are you doing, and why do you call it that type of thing, and I don't know if this is an exact comparison, but the thing that I think is very very common is the workaround, right? So the technology stack does XYZ, but now we don't want to upgrade it. And now, so when we want to say send a Zoom link, there's like 3 extra steps to work around because maybe they don't have SSO on their Zoom, or maybe they don't have a paid account, and so there's just a ton of workarounds that are draining the productivity of the employees because of a lack of investment in just a standard tech stack for the modern era, right? That's the most common one I see, is just a hodgepodge of workarounds that could be solved with kind of a proper strategic technology implement that grows over time. Pretty standard for our industry, I think, to just keep people current and refreshed with the technology that their business requires for their client communications and their vendor communications, and keeping up with how everybody does business, basically.
I love I love your business model. Like I would have this is one of those things I would have never thought existed, but can totally see the need for, and I think it's amazing. So I have a question for you. As far as like businesses go in buying and purchasing and all these other smaller businesses, what do you see being sold and what do you see being purchased as far as businesses go? What industries, I guess I should say?
My experience, I'm almost 2 years into this world, and is that the most popular businesses, as far as from a competition to buy, are really, really long-term steady businesses and really, really analog businesses. The 2 most popular are car washes and laundromats.
Now, wait a second. Those are always the 2 popular in movies for laundering money.
Yeah. Yes. So those are business. I hear that roofing companies are very popular right now. And I went to a 1-day conference in San Diego last week. I was invited to go, and it was for a kind of a brokerage firm that specializes in, they call it micro businesses. So these are businesses that are for sale around the $100,000 and less price point,
Oh, okay.
and they're apps, they're small SaaS tools and little AI bots and whatnot. Very interesting, and I was pretty much unaware of that world.
That's
As
interesting. I got a question about that.
yeah,
What kind of people are selling these? Are they people that just they love the startup game, so they start it up and then get rid of it, start it up and get rid of it? Is that the process?
I definitely got that impression that there are young, sharp software developers and people on the cutting edge of technology that are creating AI cold outreach bots and different sort of very cutting edge and very innovative, uh, quickly coded apps and other types of technology SaaS world products, spinning them up, getting some sort of groundswell of support and a little bit of revenue, and selling them. Yeah,
Huh.
that's exactly what I felt was going on, and I really was unaware of that world. And there's people that are really moving fast. I mean, I met a guy last week that he put an offer in on a company and closed on it within a week, did some marketing work, and resold it in 3 months. Yeah, yeah.
I used to know a guy, and he was going to be. I, I hate to even talk about him, but anyway, he was really good at starting businesses. He could not run a business to save his soul, but buddy, he could get one up and he could start it and sell it, and he was just good at it. I was always shocked.
Yeah, it's a fascinating world. I'm really happy that I found it. Uh, and like I said, completely unaware of it 2 years ago. until I decided, until I thought, okay, well, this may be a good way. I read that book. It said this may be a great way for me to acquire more revenue, acquire more customers, grow my business, and that was the foundation of it for me. And in the meantime, I said, well, look, no, there is IT diligence in the larger kind of medium and large size businesses, which are, over 10 million a year in revenue. And that's like Price Waterhouse Coopers and these kind of big accounting firms do this level of work. But for the layman that's kind of in the small business space, and I would consider myself one of those, there isn't a whole lot out there specifically focused on due diligence and helping acquirers through the acquisition of a new company.
That's yeah, like I said, it's definitely a business I would have never thought existed, but you explaining what you do, man, I totally see a need for it. Like it makes sense. It makes sense why if I was in, I don't know, in business to look for any business out there, that I would hire somebody like you to come and tell me, hey, I need you to look at this. And that's what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, Absolutely. And like I said, being around technology through really the beginning of the personal computer, and
Yeah.
that coming into the business space and seeing as a child, like just the whole evolution from copy machines and manila folders all the way up to what we have now. And then combine that with the kind of aging entrepreneurial space. Feels very natural to me to be helping people navigate it's IT modernization basically.
So
Um,
would you say that your unique approach is the fact that you've been around for 100 years?
yeah, yes. Thanks to technology,
You've been doing it, you know? Hey, you worked on the beige computers. I mean, what else can you say?
yeah, yep, yep.
That is awesome. So listen, Aaron, if somebody wanted to reach out to you and they said, hey, I'm getting ready to buy this business, I need somebody to do this, how would they be able to find you?
Sure. So right now, I'm still kind of working through my business, Tech Support Austin. It's techsupportaustin.com. We started off as just a local Austin technology service provider, and we've evolved from break fix to managed service. Thanks to COVID, we really helped with the hybrid workforce and picked up national and even international clients now. So we are still just doing your standard small business managed service from Austin for clients all over the nation and some international. And then the IT diligence piece, I don't quite have a specific brand or anything for that. I'm still just working through Tech Support Austin, and we've been very fortunate to be picking up a lot of steam with it right now. So um, we've helped several acquirers work through their acquisitions, and
And
then
it doesn't matter where I'm located in the United States or even world.
that's correct. We service using all of the standard RMM tools and standard PSA, everything that a lot of the audience is probably familiar with. But yes, we support the hybrid workforce, and these companies are coming to us from all over the country now.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So they'll just use, do you have an email address or do you want to give that out or no?
Yeah, absolutely. Just Aaron at techsupportaustin.com. AARON at techsupportaustin.com. You can find me on there. You can schedule a meeting with me just blindly. I'll be happy to talk to you. Again, I have always tailored my service and my business to the human side of it. I've, as you mentioned, been around 100 years, and I've seen example after example of different technology people trying to cram the humans into their tech stack. So I do not operate that way. I always like to look at the human need and the business need first, and then we map whatever technology solution to that. So we're not just on Windows. We do Windows, we do Mac. I've got a whole development crew that we support on Linux. So we are platform agnostic, and we just like to help our people and our companies that trust us with tech, um, grow their companies and work in a way that makes them get the most out of technology.
Okay. Very, very neat. Now, just to back that up there, you definitely are not that old, but in the tech world, I see it like a dog life, right? One human year is what, 7? I think 7 dog
Yeah.
years, something like that. In the tech world, it's got to be one human year is like 15 uh, tech iterations, of a year. So yeah, you're definitely over 100 if you go with that.
I guess so. It certainly feels like that some way, especially when you're thinking back to the DOS prompt and the Unix terminal. Like, wow, that I guess a lot of people can't even relate to that in any sort of way.
I would think not. I would think that if 90% of the workforce today saw a DOS prompt, they would probably be totally froze in their track.
Yes, it's wild where we're at now. Yeah, and to see what's happening with some of the advancements in AI and where that is and how fast it's coming at us. It's
Oh
just
yeah.
it's just wild. As soon as you think you get tired of tech and tired of whatever it is, right, that you're toiling away at, then something like ChatGPT comes along, and you're just like, oh my goodness.
Just makes it fun all over again.
Yeah, yeah, just incredible. But like I said, having gone through so many iterations and
Right.
seeing the different personalities in tech and the different people in business and how the interaction has gone over the years, and where we thought Java was going to solve every problem, and we thought this, that, and the other was the going to replace us or whatever, and kind of just going through all that and having that kind of understanding. It's a blessing now to be able to help other people and to have that perspective and bring it. I feel like wow, the ebb and flow of a life in technology has been good to me, and so now I feel blessed to be able to kind of give that back and have that experience and relay it to other people to provide for myself and my family. It's been amazing.